Every time I do this, I get at least one message from a stepmom telling me that this one thing was more powerful for them than years of therapy. And it happens every time I do a masterclass. I have done masterclasses for a couple years now, maybe like once or twice a year, and they're always fire. Stepmoms tell me they've never felt so seen and understood. And that's all great. But where the real power is in the strategies that they get that they can implement right away. Because feeling seen isn't enough to change your step family life. You need actionable next steps. You need a strategy that works. And that's what you get. In my latest masterclass, How to Stop Letting a High Conflict Ex Hijack Your Life, well, in my opinion, it was the most powerful one I have ever done. And it went live a couple weeks ago, but if you missed it, I am giving you the opportunity to get immediate access to this call. That is an exact framework to help you minimize conflict, protect your energy, and take back your peace. So if one message lingers in your body long after you've read it, or if step family stress takes up more mental space than you're ever going to admit, if you find it hard to fully relax because you're always bracing yourself for the next thing, if you argue with your partner over the ex on a regular basis, and if the conflict is following you into your work, into dinner, into sleep, into your friendships, this masterclass is going to help you stop reacting and start leading your life again. So head to www.jamiescrimger.com/masterclass to get immediate access. That is how to stop letting a high conflict ex hijack your life. www.jamiescrimger.com/masterclass for immediate access. Hey, it's Jamie Scrimger. When I became a stepmom, I quickly realized that while moms are encouraged to keep it real, there's a big double standard when it comes to stepmoms. So I decided to start the conversation myself. Thriving as a stepmom doesn't just come from conversations about being a stepmom, though. Here we dive into marriage, relationships, personal growth, and more. My mission? Inspire you to live a kick-ass life while bringing you along as I create my own. This is the KICK-ASS Stepmom Podcast. Alrighty, guys. Hello. Welcome to the KICK-ASS Stepmom Podcast. So I got to tell you, I'm a bit of a hot mess express today. We are doing just like a catch-up update episode. And the way I'm feeling about how this year started is basically the same way as I'm feeling this morning. Like hot mess express. Can't quite catch my breath. So many things to do. I really need to take a beat. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that today because actually I did get some questions about that. But I'm basically just going to give you an update on life so far in 2026, which is wild. It's 2026. I am 40. What is happening in the world? So basically, I got to tell you, I started this year all wrong. I did it all wrong. I screwed myself over. There are so many great things that have happened so far this year. But again, I just feel like I can't catch my breath. So I'm going to back up. January started out with huge plans. And I did January differently this year than I ever have before. And again, it was just a huge mistake. I normally start the year very slow. I like to take a beat. I like to clear my calendar. I like to focus on planning, setting goals and intentions, clearing just junk out of my life, decluttering, just being very intentional about how I go into the year. And it works. It's a really great strategy, and I've done it for years. And this year, for some reason, I decided not to, and huge error. So here's how January did start. We had an amazing Christmas, amazing New Year's. We were up at the chalet doing lots of skiing. Really weren't home though. So as soon as we came home, instead of doing the reset, I went right into launching my masterclass, which was all about how to minimize the impact that a high conflict ex has in your life. And hey, I will tell you, this was one of the best masterclasses that I've ever done. I truly believe this content was gold. All of my masterclasses are really good. Typically, people will literally say to me that 1 hour is better than like years of therapy when it comes to creating change in their step family life. So it was amazing. It was the best one. But these masterclasses take a lot of work.
and it was a lot of my bandwidth. And so all of the organizing that I normally would do, I just didn't have time to do. So I do the masterclass. I think it was a couple days before we are to set off to St. Martin for my birthday trip. And I get all of this sounds very bratty. I'm very aware of how this may sound to someone like, oh, you were at your ski chalet and then you were going to St. Martin and it seems very busy, whatever, Jamie, seems very stressful. I get how this sounds. I'm just saying, this is my world. This is what happened and this is how I'm feeling. So I'm just being very transparent. So my husband, for my birthday, one of my biggest wishes was to go on a sister's trip. All I wanted was to go on a trip with my sisters and their husbands and just have a good time. And so I think I kind of shared this earlier, but we were at a silent auction and my husband, he bid on a trip. And we won. So we won like a timeshare situation in St. Martin. And so he brought everyone down there to celebrate my birthday, which I'm so grateful for. Honestly, this trip was everything. When it was over, I cried. When is the next time I'm going to be in a house with my two sisters, waking up every morning, laughing together, in a beautiful place like that? Like, it was just such a dream. And I'm just so, so grateful for that experience. And it was, so interesting because my sisters and there's three of us. I'm the oldest and we're all so different. And those differences really come out, but our husbands get along really well and we just have a really good time together. So we all went down there. My youngest sister has a baby. He's going to be a year in March. So she doesn't want to leave the baby, which I totally get. So we trucked him down there too, which was amazing. But it was just definitely a different trip for her than maybe it was for my other sister and I, because we didn't have our kids and just had that freedom. But again, so good. Such a good time. The kid was amazing. He just is so easygoing. Now, one of the days we decided to go on a day trip. I got to tell you guys this. It is wild. I'm going to preface the story like I'm about to talk about a nude beach. I've never been to a nude beach before. And so my sister, who doesn't have the baby, Brittany, and I and our husbands decided we were going to take a day trip. And Chelsea stayed back with the baby and her husband, which I think was amazing for them because he needed to catch up on sleep. They probably needed to take a beat, and lugging him all over the island was not going to be fun for them. So we separated for the day and we went to Orient Beach in St. Martin. First of all, St. Martin is such a beautiful place. It was just the best day, the best beach, great water. But we went to this kind of beach area and down from it is the Nude beach. Have you ever been to a nude beach before? Because it literally blew my mind. I thought that when you go to a nude beach, some people are nude, maybe there's some boobies out, maybe the odd naked person. No. Everyone butt ass naked, everyone on this section. So my husband and my brother-in-law went down while my sister and I were just reading and laying there on the beach. Not the naked beach. We were on the beach with the bathing suits. They walked down just to kind of take a peek and just see what it was all about. So they didn't walk all the way through because they thought it would be kind of awkward and weird for them. But they just kind of took a peek in, came back and was like, guys, you got to check this out. So Brittany and I go for a walk and we walk down this beach to Orient Nude Beach. Everyone was butt naked. I have never seen so many penises in my life. I bet I saw 75 penises that day. Everyone's butt naked. No one even has bottoms on, just hanging out. So I was like, we have to walk through here. We have to go. And it was such an interesting experience because you see all of these people who are just so confident in themselves and their body, and they're just hanging out butt ass naked. I really just couldn't believe it. There was one group of people and there was a bunch of friends hanging out in the water, all naked. There was 10 of them, all naked. And then their buddies bringing them a bucket of beers and he's naked, walking out. And I'm I just thought it was wild. And what was so interesting to me, and my sister and I really talked about this at length, is no one had a rockin' bod, right? By Instagram standards or by, the fitness, whatever standards that we're measuring ourselves up to. It was just real life people naked on this beach. So it really got us thinking, we're scrolling through our Instagram all the time. We're going through this health and fitness content. And, I'm right into it right now too, and just trying to be the best version of ourselves, which I'm all about. It's healthy. We want to be strong. We want to feel energetic. But there's just so much pressure, and it's very unrealistic because most people are not looking like that. And so we just felt so much more confident walking back. And I just cannot, just men standing there talking to each other, foot up on the lounge chair, just propped up, naked, penis, balls everywhere. Couldn't believe it. So anyway, that was definitely a core memory. It was just, such a great experience. We had such a great day, and feel so grateful for just that week with my sisters. But then coming home, a hot mess express. I was so overwhelmed. There were people in my inbox asking me where, proposals are, or, things I needed to edit. I was behind on so many things. And so I really did realize from that as great as this month was, that is not how I start my year. Because you really do need to take time to set the foundation for your life. And so someone on Instagram actually asked me, what do you do when you feel overwhelmed? What do you do when you truly need to just kind of get your shit together? And I used to follow this girl on Instagram on YouTube, and she called it a gist day, capital GYST, get your shit together day, which I've actually created a calendar in my calendar with that title, just where I put all of my to-do lists. And when I start to feel like that, when I feel like I cannot get ahead, when I feel like I have this pounding, feeling in my chest, I'm just not feeling the way I want to feel and I need a big reset, here's what I do. So I'm going to share my strategies with you. One, I clear my day. I cancel my day, I reschedule my calls, anything that does not have to be done that day or the next day, I find a day that I can clear. And, you can feel bad about canceling appointments. You can feel bad about rescheduling. You don't want to do that. And I get it. It's not ideal. But when I find myself in that space, I got to reset and I got to have a clean slate. So I clear my day, and then I go through my to-do list and I get ruthless. So I have this pad of paper. Actually, I'll share it on Instagram. It's from, I think, Ink and Bolt, and it's called a dashboard. So this dashboard is where you can put all of the sections of your life and just brain dump all of the to-do list. So I will go through my to-do list and I get ruthless with it. What doesn't need to be done? Sometimes on our to-do list, we have this hearts and sparkles perception of what we're able to get done in a day. And ideally we would do that, but sometimes it's our dreams, right? And so anything that does not need to be done in this time period, I'm moving. I'm taking it off the list, scratching it off. It's off, gone. Okay. Anything that I can delegate, I will delegate. I will ask for help. Maybe it's contracting something out. Maybe it's asking our house cleaner or my husband or a family member to help me with something. I am getting as much off my plate as possible and really thinking about, okay, what is the next best step for me for what I truly want in my life, for what I truly need to achieve today, for what is actually important. Because often this to-do list has a lot of things that if you really go through them, they're not that important to your life. They don't need to be done right now. So again, just editing ruthlessly. One thing I do also do, and maybe this happens before I block the day, if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you are feeling like you can't get ahead and you just are so burnt out, it is totally okay to just lay on the couch, binge watch a show, eat whatever you want to eat, and just have a moment to just be calm, to sleep, to be overwhelmed, to just sit in it for a bit. So I often will do that. I'm a champ at binge watching a show. So you can do that before, you can do that after, but there is no shame in just chilling a little bit because sometimes you need to just rest in order to reset. Another thing that I really like to do is go through and tidy my spaces because a cluttered environment is truly a cluttered mind. Today, my house is not as clean and tidy as I like it to be. And I'll tell you, my mind is cluttered today. So we have to be very, very cognizant and aware of how our environment, our digital environment, our offices, our bedrooms, our closets, how they impact how we feel. So I will also take some time to just, organize my calendar, clean a room, purge a room, things like that. So when I'm resetting and coming back from burnout, that is something I prioritize as well. I will say that I did that. I felt better. I'm feeling way, way better than I did like a few weeks ago. But this is a process. It's not something that just happens overnight. And so those habits are things that you can return to each week. Maybe you're not blocking off your days each week, but maybe you're blocking time, right? Creating white space in your calendar just to get your shit together, just to work on organizing. Because often we're spending our time going to the next best step, or I need to work on this project. I need to do this for work. When really, what we really need to do is get our head on straight. And so scheduling that into your calendar is huge. If you've been around here for a while, you know that a huge focus of mine is calming my nervous system and bringing more peace and calm into our fast-paced life. Because stepfamily stress doesn't just live in the moment, it lives in your body. If you know, you know. That braced feeling before a pickup, the tight chest after a text exchange, when you're conditioned to be living in a state of anticipating what's next, you can feel that in your body. And so one of the tools that I have been using is the infrared PEMF mat from Bon Charge. Bon Charge is a wellness company focused on beauty, recovery, sleep, and overall well-being. But what pulled me in was their PEMF mat. PEMF stands for Pulsed Electromagnetic Field. It sends magnetic energy into the body that works with your body's natural magnetic field to support recovery, relaxation, and better sleep. It taps into the electromagnetic wavelengths that are found in nature. And the idea is simple: helps your body remember what calm feels like. Their infrared PEMF Mat Max combines those bioactive wavelengths with red and near-infrared light. It's low EMF, flicker-free, and you can literally unfold this mat into your living room, do yoga, stretch, meditate, read a book, or just lie there and let your body chill. I often put on my red light panel, also from Bon Charge, and do some stretching on the mat while I'm listening to a meditation. It is all about the habit stacking. For me, it's less about performance and more about regulation. Recover faster, sleep better, focus more clearly, and show up grounded instead of reactive. And if you are building a little home recovery ritual, they also have infrared sauna blankets, red light therapy panels, blue light glasses, and more, all designed to help you increase well-being, recovery, and sleep without adding more chaos to your routine. If you want to check it out, you can use my code SCRIM for 15% off at www.boncharge.com. This is an affiliate link that helps support the KICK-ASS Stepmom podcast, so go to www.boncharge.com and use the code SCRIM for 15% off. Let's be honest, when life is loud, your bedroom needs to feel like a retreat, not an extension of the chaos. There's something about climbing into really good sheets, putting on high-quality pajamas that just shifts your energy immediately. Insert Cozy Earth. I am beyond obsessed with their bamboo PJ sets and their duvet cover and sheet sets, also made from viscose from bamboo. Cozy Earth uses premium viscose from bamboo that is so soft, breathable, and temperature regulating. So you and your partner are not fighting over the thermostat at 3 a.m. You actually rest. Their loungewear and their pajamas feel put together without sacrificing comfort. And the bedding, it feels like this quiet exhale at the end of the day. And they back it with a 100-night sleep trial and money-back guarantee, so there's zero risk in upgrading. If you want to show up as the best version of yourself in your marriage, your parenting, your life, it starts with how well you sleep. Go to CozyEarth.com and use the code CozyJamie for 20% off. That's www.CozyEarth.com and use the code CozyJamie for 20% off. Upgrade your sheets, upgrade your sleep, upgrade your energy. Now, when I think about this year, I'm going to kind of switch gears. This year definitely feels different to me. And not because I'm like so unorganized. And I'm not that unorganized. I'm just not as organized as I would like to be. But this year feels different. I don't know if it's turning 40. I don't know if we've been listening to everyone on Instagram. I think it's the year of the horse. We had the year of the snake. In astrology, we're like shedding old versions of ourselves. And like, I think the horse just goes hard. I don't know. But something feels different for me this year. And, when I reflect back on last year at this time, starting last year, I thought I was shutting all this down. I thought I was going to shut this down, be a stay-at-home mom, make muffins. I don't even think I've made a batch of muffins. Just really and truly switching gears in my life. And I got rid of my team. I pressed pause on the show. I did all of that. And what last year taught me is no, it wasn't what I was doing. It was how I was doing it. And I really realized I do love coaching and I do love supporting women and I love creating and I love doing this podcast. So what I did last year is I really built this back up. And so now I'm at this point where I'm like, okay, still feeling some of the feelings that I felt back then, in that I'm in a different space in stepmotherhood. Like this whole business and this coaching platform and all of that has always been about being in the trenches of motherhood or stepmotherhood and sharing my experience with that, coaching from that place. And now, my stepkids are all out of the house. Like, I don't think about being a stepmom every single day anymore. It's not part of my identity as much as it was back then. And my role has really shifted. And so what does that mean for me? What does that mean for me as a personal brand? What does that mean for me in this podcast? What does that mean for me and who I am? Like, I have this space right now where I'm figuring out who I am outside of being a stepmom, because for years, my whole life was revolved around that, making sure the kids had what they needed, supporting my husband, kind of running the house. Like everything was about our week on, week off schedule. And now the kids are, moved out, and what my role looks like has shifted. And I'm going to be honest, and I shared this on Instagram, it has been a bit of a mind fuck for me. I'm like, okay, what is my role now? And so I've had to redefine what showing up as a stepmom looks like for me now. And now that looks like, planning the family weekend. It looks like making the reservations. It looks like checking in with the kids and seeing, maybe I'm helping them buy the jacket that they really want, but it's not in the budget because they're starting, they're launching into life right now. My stepdaughter, she's graduated university. And I remember being that age and, doing interviews and, going into this phase of my life and having no clothes because all I had was, going out shirts. So I'm helping her create kind of a grown-up wardrobe that she can, multi-purpose, like the capsule wardrobe. So, my role is different. We're curating these family weekends and family experiences. Even this coming up weekend, it's Family Day weekend here in Ontario. And all of the kids are coming. So I'm managing all of that, making sure everyone has the food they want. But this role is so much different now. Realistically, I'm not talking to the kids every day. I'm not in contact with them as much as I used to be. My husband is a lot. I'm kind of catching up on the sidelines with them. Like, my role is completely different. And it's been really interesting because I had a coaching client who, her and I have been going back and forth a lot because she's in the same boat too. She's like, who am I now? What is my role? And so it's about redefining what that looks like for you now. And it can be, again, a bit of a mindfuck. Now, with that shift and with that just mindset shift in terms of the type of content I want to share and what's really on my heart, I feel like I can look back at my experience as a stepmom and really provides so much value because I know what matters and what doesn't. What's a season, what isn't. What works, what doesn't work. What's worth the battle, what's not. How do you save money on lawyers' bills? How do you reduce conflict? So as much as all of those strategies that I have were amazing while I was in the trenches too, and they worked because they helped me transform my step family life and also helped me support other stepmoms as well. But now I feel like it's even different because I'm on the other side of it all. And I just have such a different perspective. And with that perspective, I feel like I'm just ready to kind of expand what I'm sharing. And I don't even really know the words for it, but there is a shift happening. And so with that, a lot of what I'm doing and a lot of what I want to do this year is based on expanding this podcast. So that was just a decision that I made just a couple weeks ago and had been on my heart for a while because here's the deal, guys. This podcast has always been a side thing. So it's never been my full business. The podcast is not if we're thinking about this from like a business perspective, generates the most income. It is my free content that I put out every week, but it was never my big thing. And my dream has always been to be able to do this full time. However, I've never had the capacity because my days are back to back to back one-on-one coaching calls, or promoting a new course, or promoting a new masterclass, or creating, stepmom specific content. And so basically, long story long, I'm kind of shifting things and not focusing so much on the coaching and the one-on-one, which I'm still doing. So if you want to work with me, shoot me up a message. But I really am going all in on this podcast this year because, guys, we're top 0.05% of podcasts. I have 2 million downloads. We have interviewed amazing guests. It's been a success without any strategy, without it being the primary focus. So I'm thinking, like, what if I just went all in on this show and we could really start bringing some killer conversations and just take it to the next level? So here's what I had to do. You may have saw this on Instagram the other day. I was saying I had a little cry to my husband. And so here's what happened. For the first time in this business, I created a business plan. I'm not a numbers person. I am like a fly by the seat of my pants girl, or at least I was. I'm not doing that anymore. But I made a business plan and really mapped out how to expand this podcast, how to get more listeners, how to just show stepmoms that there's another way of doing it. And I came to my husband, I created this whole like slideshow because in order for me to do this, some things have to change with how I'm supporting, how I'm showing up, how I'm doing business. So anyway, brought him this whole business plan with what this could look like and presented it to him the other day. He was so supportive. He always has been so supportive. But after I did that and he totally saw the vision and, he's on board and we're going all in, but I just started crying. I just looked at him and I just started crying. And I don't know why I started crying, but it was like this combination of overwhelm and relief and excitement and being scared and not knowing what's next and just like stepping into this new era that it just was very, very overwhelming. And I'm sharing this because someone sent a question in on Instagram and they're like, do you feel scared when you try something new? And yes, totally. I will be driving and have an idea and I'll be like pumped and just thinking it's the best thing in the world. And yep, this is going to be amazing. It's going to work. And then when I start to execute on something, the fear comes in. And I think we can all relate to this. The fear, the what ifs, the doubt, the worry, the embarrassment. What are people going to say? If I post that cringe content, are people going to be screenshotting and making fun of me? Like the fear comes in. So yeah, all of that happened. I felt so overwhelmed, but I feel really good now. I feel scared. I feel nervous, all of those things still. But you gotta just follow your gut. And so we're making some shifts. We're going all in on the podcast. And guys, you guys helped me create this. There's so many of you who have been with me since the very, very beginning. And you've been on this journey with me, figuring out who I am as a stepmom, as a coach, bringing in all these experts that we learn from, trying to figure out better ways to, have a kick-ass life, well, what is my tagline on my intro? I haven't even listened to it for a long time, but it's, inspiring you to live a kick-ass life while bringing you along as I create my own. And it has been a journey. And I think we should all be very, very proud of ourselves for making this show what it is. And this show wouldn't be what it is today and what it's about to be without you guys supporting me, without your reviews, when you share it out on social, when you're telling your friends. Like, I just have to say thank you because you've been a huge, huge part of this too. Lately, I've been really diving into the back end of my business, the platforms I use for my website and email lists and contracts, all of that. And I've realized that I want to spend way less time managing tech and more time coaching, podcasting, connecting with you. Admin is not really my thing. So I have been moving more and more over to Kajabi. Kajabi is an all-in-one platform for creators. Your website, your email marketing, your landing pages, your automations, payments, courses, community, all in one place. And they don't take a percentage of your profit. I have literally built a 7-figure business with multiple streams of income using Kajabi as the backbone. It runs my programs, my email list, my digital products, everything. And you can even create your own custom app inside Kajabi which, by the way, have you downloaded my app yet? When your back end is streamlined, you have more capacity to actually create and lead. And if you've been thinking about turning your expertise into income, this is your sign. Kajabi is your answer. You can get a 30-day free trial using my link at www.jamiescrimger.com/Kajabi. That is www.jamiescrimger.com/Kajabi for 30 days free. Build your business on a platform that can actually grow with you. www.jamiescrimger.com/Kajabi, Kajabi, for 30 days free. You know what? Actually, a Facebook comment came in. Speaking of the weekend that we have lined up with the kids, I want to share a comment that came in that I really want to touch on. So I was sharing how I was feeling about this new phase of stepmotherhood, like finding my role. So this commenter said, my biggest fear is that when they don't have to visit us anymore, and she's talking about her stepkids, when they are adults and all grown up, they will drift away and not make an effort because it's been so hard with the two houses. I do wonder if they're just going to choose an easier option. And here's the thing, and Darren and I have talked about this a lot in our marriage and when we're setting intentions for the type of parents we want to show up as. This is something you work on all along. You want to raise children who want to come back for dinner, who want to spend time with you. But if you're sitting there just waiting for them to come to you as teenagers, like, stepmoms will say to me, well, my teenage stepson never texts me. Well, yeah, text him. As parents, it's our job too to be reaching out, to staying in contact, to be deliberate about our relationship and very strategic. And so, it's not always when you're parenting about the rules and structure and expectations and all of that. Are you creating a relationship with these kids that you really actually like each other? They feel supported, that they feel safe, that they feel seen, that they feel like they can have some fun with you too. Like, you want to have fun in life. You want to have fun with your family. And so if you're struggling with that right now and that's your worry, I would dial it back and think, okay, what can we do differently in order to create an environment and a relationship with these kids so that when they get older, when they have lives of their own, when they have families and other responsibilities and jobs, etc., they still want to come back and, have a fun weekend with us. And so I just think it's really important to be intentional about that. All right. What else is new? What else for the update? Okay, let's talk health and wellness. So I did a question box asking you guys what you wanted me to talk about and the health and wellness piece. And I know I've been kind of dabbling in this as well, but I'm still very much on the toning up train. I feel like now, again, that I turned 40, I'm so much more focused on fitness and toning and all of that. And obviously for the long-term benefits, right? Like you want to stay strong, you want to all the things. You still want to look good too. Like if I'm being very honest, like when some people will say online, they're like, I don't work out to look good, I work out to feel good. I'm like, can we do both? Like you don't want to look good at all? Like I bet you do, right? And so I think that as we get older and, there's the pressures of aging and that, I am kind of focused on really trying to feel and trying to look my best. And so what am I doing to focus on that? Still the Pilates, the yoga. I just signed up to work with a fitness coach. And so she's all about the calorie counting. We're incorporating some weights and things like that. So let me know if you want me to talk a little bit more about that. But that is a big thing. Again, the calorie counting. I know that so many people don't feel good about calorie counting. They feel like it's disordered eating or it's too restrictive or whatever. But I'll tell you right now, if I don't have an idea of how many calories are in something, I can rationalize a big plate of food. And doesn't matter what you're eating, if you're eating too much of it, it's going to add up, right? Like at the end of the day, yes, you want to eat clean, you want to eat protein, you want to eat all of these things, but it's like a pound is 3,500 calories, right? And so there is some math there. So focusing on that, I know that might trigger some people, but that is what I'm doing right now. And it's what's been working for me. And then, the other piece, lastly, that I'm focusing on this year is, the friendship piece. I have a whole other episode coming out on this, but I was talking to, again, one of my coaching clients, and she was saying, at this stage in her life, she's really struggling with friendships and trying to find friends who are in the same position as her, with the same, desires for friendships, with the same wants and needs, the same interests, and I definitely feel the same way. I feel like in life, we say we have a lot of friends. Like everyone's like, yeah, I have amazing friends. But when you go through and you're like, are they clapping when you win? Do you feel safe around them? Do you feel like you can be yourself? Do they stand by your side even when they don't agree with you? Even when you don't show up as the best version of you? If you've had a bad moment, like, is it just the end of their friendship, or can you have, a conversation about it? Can you move on? Can you be supported? Do they have your back, right? Like, I think we need to really redefine like what a friend is, because so many of us, classify people as our friends, but we really can't be our true authentic selves with them. And so, specifically speaking for me, I definitely feel that right now in this stage of my life. And this year I'm really trying to put myself in rooms with people who are doing the same things as me, who have the same goals as me, who have the same money mindset and the same wants and needs, and who will clap when you win. Like, I want to be friends with people, or I want to be around women who I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm your biggest cheerleader. You're my biggest cheerleader. Like, all we do is want everyone to have just this amazing life. And so it's just kind of been this odd thing for me as I have grown out of friendships over the last few years. I've had breakdowns in friendships over the last few years. It's just, I'm in this weird space, especially because I moved to this town to be with my husband. So I didn't know anyone before. So, I had like 5 friends. And then as those friendships kind of evolve, I'm like, oh my God, I'm taking resumes. So anyway, I'm really trying to focus on that. And the more I really dive into that topic, I'm seeing that there's so many other women who are feeling that same pull and really trying to connect with, again, like-minded women. So huge focus for me this year as well. But yeah, that's kind of the update. I'm just in this space where I'm like, what's next? Let's go. I don't give a lot of cares for things that don't matter. Like, I'm just pretty much in my own world right now, focusing on my business, my family, my life, my health. And it's true what they say, like, you turn 40 and you just stop really caring about all of the things that you thought were like such a big deal back when you were in your 30s or in your 20s. So it's a freeing age. I'm loving it so far, but that is the update on life. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. I love chatting with you guys. But yeah, that's it for this one. Thanks for listening.
That's it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if this episode resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you could share it with someone in your life who you think could benefit from it. And if you haven't already left a rating and a review on iTunes, it really is the best way to support the show. And if you're craving more real talk and coaching and community, be sure to check out my membership, the KICK-ASS Stepmom community. Head to www.kickassstepmom.com to learn more.